How's all doing? I'm going to do a video about the Atari Flashback 8 Gold Activision Edition, and this is in HD. It has 130 built-in games, Atari and Activision games. It comes with two wireless controllers, you know, and this is the 40th anniversary of the Atari 2600. So it looks like it, you know, and it has it outputs in 720p, and it has save, resume, and you can rewind games. You know, the joysticks take two AAA batteries, and the joystick with all the red buttons on it is the one-player joystick, and the other one is the two-player joystick. And this only cost €80, and it's worth every single penny in my opinion. If you love Atari games, if you love Activision games, this is a brilliant plug and play system. That's what it is. It plugs into the Atari by HDMI cable and a power lead. Awesome, that's all I can say. 10 out of 10. Now, there are games that are missing that I wish that were in here, but they're not. Particularly on the Atari end of things, you know. So we'll do my best to go over all the games here. You know, I'm going to start with the Atari games, right? 3D tic-tac-toe. That's noughts and crosses. It's one or two player game. You know, one player, which is me, will be the crosses, and the knots will be the computer or the second player. And there's 4 grids with squares, you know. And if we get 4 X's before the computer, I win. So it's a very basic game, but it's pretty good, you know. Adventure is the first sort of role playing game. You know, a top down view, just like Zelda. So if it wasn't for Adventure, there would be no Zelda, period, or any sort of role playing game, because you have to get a magic chalice and bring it back to the castle, and there's different coloured castles, and you have to get the right key to get into the right castle, and there's dragons out to get you, and you have to get an arrow, which is meant to be a spear or something, and you use that to kill the dragon. And it's a very simple, but the concept is awesome. And for back in the day, it was revolutionary adventure, because before that, all you had were shooting games like Space Invaders, sport games, or driving games. You know, boxing games. So adventure was the first pioneer. Was the first RPG game, and was a pioneer. So awesome, you know. So brilliant, you know. In my opinion, and yeah. So sorry about that. I was just turning off Call of Duty World War II. Just taking a break from it. Anyway, so yeah, adventure, awesome game, you know. So I'm trying to do this one-handed. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm an amateur at this. Sorry, I'm not a fucking professional by any means, but I'm doing my best. You know, yeah, Adventure 3D tic-tac-toe. Adventure 2, which is a sequel. You know, just improves everything about the first Adventure, but I don't think that was officially released. I don't remember it being, so I think that's exclusive to the Atari Flashback. You know, I think Astro Blast, which is sorry, Air Raiders. Sorry, so my eyesight's gone. That's what happens when I get older, unfortunately. Air Raiders, you're just shooting down planes. You know, it's a first person view. It's not an Atari game. I think someone else makes it. Network, whoever they are, that's the name of the crowd that do it. And you know, you have like 99 bullets, and if you run out of bullets, I don't know how to get more bullets. I don't know how to get or if the enemy plane shoots you down. So it's pretty basic. Air Sea Battle, a classic. Primarily a 2-player game, but a classic game nonetheless. You have 2 minutes to shoot down as many planes as you can, and whoever has the most wins. It's all about high scores with Atari back then. There was no such thing as story or finishing the game. It was all about getting a high score. Aqua Adventure, which was released in 1983, but was never officially released because of the video game crash. But it's on here, and you have to go in the water to get the treasure or something. And there's all sorts of underwater enemies out to kill, like fish and seahorses and other things. And you have to go down, get the thing, and come back up to surface before you run out of air. So it's very challenging, and it's a basic concept, but it's very challenging, And it's an awesome game, If Aqua Adventure had come out in 1982 or 1981 or 80 during Atari's heyday, it would have done a lot better, and it would have gotten more attention, and it would certainly help Atari be awesome, Armor Ambush, that's an M Network game. It's basically combat except it's Armor Ambush, so I'm not sure who copied who. I believe Combat was made for, so Armor Ambush would seem to rip off that. There's a lot of rip offs, copies everywhere, because Atari invented most of these games and people copied them. That happens nowadays even, if something's good and it makes a lot of money, people try to copy it. That's just the way it is. Asteroid, classic. I played that when I was a kid in Masney. Awesome. The asteroids flew across the screen. They get smaller and smaller, and every so often a UFO will appear on the screen, and you have to kill it. Awesome game. Brilliant. And there's that game, Astro Blast. It's you're on the bottom of the screen and stuff is coming down at you. You have to shoot it, and it's you have the 9 lives, and it's all about getting a high score. Very very simple, very basic. Atari Climber. Now that was made in 2005. I had no idea about that. You're a kid with a red hat, and you have to get a baseball that appears randomly, and there's like 4 or 5 floors, and there's like ladders that you have to climb to get to the ball. But these walls that are coming left and right, and you have to get up the ladder and avoid these walls and collect the baseball. So it's very simple, but it's a very challenging game, and it's a great game in my opinion. Atari Climber, very good. It's sort of like Donkey Kong or something like that, So awesome game in my opinion. Backgammon, I have no idea how to play that game. Even back in the day, I have no idea. So it's not one of my favourites. Basketball. Basketballs have to start somewhere. And I believe basketball is the first basketball video game. It's 1-on-1 basketball. You have like 2 minutes to score as many baskets as you can, and the physics aren't exactly accurate. The ball is a square, and the fellas look like matchstick men. But it's fun, and the concept is sound. That's what it's all about, fun. Atari games are fun in my opinion. There's nothing overly complicated about Atari games, and that's why they're easy to pick up and play. Anyone can play an Atari game. That's the whole appeal of it. But they also get faster and challenging and make you want to keep playing, So Atari are great at that, entertainment, That's what I'm saying. We got hours and hours of entertainment when I was a kid. With Atari games, and it plugs right into your TV, which is awesome. Blackjack, it's a card game. If you like blackjack or poker or anything like that, I'm not a big fan of it, so I don't really care. Bowling is a pretty good game. You have to knock down the pins and get as many strikes as you can, or spears. It's really a two-player game, but it's okay playing one player just to see how many strikes you can get. So it's pretty basic, but it's awesome. It's fun. Like, I like the game. You know what I mean? I believe it is the first bowling game. You know. Now, Breakout is a classic. You have to break through the multicoloured wall with your ball, and there's a paddle at the bottom of the screen. You have to bounce the ball back up and break out. Awesome game. I believe that was in the arcade, but I never seen it. You know, Breakout, classic game. We played that non-stop. I still play it today. You know, Canyon Bomber. It's primarily a two-player game, but there is some, but it's also one player. Yeah, there's a canyon and it has multicoloured bricks, and you have to use your planes or helicopter to bomb through the canyon. Now, whoever can get the most score within 2 minutes wins. So, something similar to Air Sea Battle, Canyon Bomber, you know, but it's still a fun game in my opinion. Nothing complicated, you know. It's, you know, if you want to play games that are stress free and there's no bullshit with online dickheads or anything like this, Atari games are fucking awesome, because back in the day there was no online, there was no multiplayer. It was just you and your friends in the room playing the games together, or in the arcade, you know. And, you know, like, I like online multiplayer, like, I do, but, like, I do miss the charm of the old days, sitting in the room with my friends, playing the game together, which was awesome, you know. And back in the arcades it was awesome. That nowadays things it's all focused on online multiplayer. You know, Xbox Live and PS4 and all, which is good in its own way. Like, I'm not gonna knock it because I play it. All I'm saying is I miss the way things used to be. You know, I always love that. You know, I'll never forget it. So Centipede, one of my all-time favorite video games. When I was a kid, Space Invaders was the first game I ever played, and that got me into it. Centipede was number 2. I played it as much as I could. I'd beg my mad to, I want to go to the arcades, I want to play Space Invaders, I want to play Centipede. Even if I didn't have any money, I'd just start, because it's awesome. Because the Atari logo with the lights and everything just drew you in. You know, which was awesome. It was awesome, in my opinion. It was just awesome. And things have definitely lost their charm these days. I haven't gone into an arcade today and felt the same level of charm, because they don't put the effort in anymore, in my opinion. You know, well, in Ireland anyway. I say in the States it's a different story because it's a much bigger country, and in the USA that's where video games really came from. Well, Japan maybe, but with Atari in particular, I believe Atari is an American company. That's how it started out in 1972 with Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney and Alan Alcorn. So yeah, based in America, so like awesome. But in Ireland there's not many arcades anymore. And the ones that are around are fucking shitholes, you know what I mean? I wouldn't recommend them, you know. Look, I live in Dublin, Ireland, and we live in Coolac, and there's an arcade down the road called the Leisureplex. Now, the Leisureplex opened, 2005, 2004, you know, or maybe even earlier than that. I can't remember exactly what year it opened, but it's opened over 20 years. Now, when it first opened, the place was gleaming. All the arcade games were spotless, bright colourful lights. All the pool tables were clean, and the bowling alley was awesome. And the Quasar is like, you go in and it's 4 players per team. One's a red team, one's a blue team. You have laser guns. It's all dark and stuff, and you have it like a blue armour yoke and a red armour thing. It's about whoever can score the most points, you know. And the guy outside keeps tabs on which team is winning, because it registers to his thing who's winning. So like, no one can cheat, but it's just become a breeding ground for shitheads and junkies, and it really wrecked that place. People are afraid to bring their kids to it anymore. It's just a breeding ground for shitheads, unfortunately. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. There used to be a place called Barney's, which was an awesome arcade. There was Mosney, like I said. You know, Funland, which was awesome. All these places are gone now, you know. So it's all, like I said, it's all online multiplayer at home, playing with other people from around the world. Like, I haven't seen my friends in donkey's years because they've all got families and they've moved on with their life. But I see them from time to time on Xbox Live, so that's the benefit of having Xbox Live and stuff. I can stay in contact with my friends that way through playing games. So yeah, I mean, but I still miss the old days where we're all in the room together playing the games, having fun and all. Even with Sega Mega Drive games, we played them all. But Atari is where we all started. But anyway, Centipede, awesome, brilliant game. We played hours on end. It was just a very fast-paced game that never gets boring. Not for me, anyway. Some people might find it repetitive, or they might not see the appeal of it that I do. But I just think it's awesome. I do. And a 3D version of Centipede I think would be amazing. But I don't think they'd be able to do it. I think the game would be too slow in 3D. You know, if they attempted it. Maybe someone actually did make a 3D Centipede game. I don't know. But I doubt it would be as fast or as action-packed as the original. But who knows? I'd like to see a 3D version of it. Championship Soccer, like all soccer games had to start somewhere. And unfortunately, most of the time, the first games and are usually bad. But someone has to do it first. Someone has to go first. You know, go first is not always a great fucking thing. Like, you know, but someone has to go first. You know what I mean? And set the standard, set the bar, so people can improve on it. That's the same with everything. And same with football games, basketball games. Everyone has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. You know what I mean? So people can improve on it. So yeah, Championship Soccer, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you like soccer games, then yeah, I mean, I just like basketball more than I like soccer. That's just me, you know. But like, if you like soccer, yeah, I mean, I suppose. But it's 3-on-3 and there's no goalkeeper. And all 3 players move together. So there's no like passing the ball or controlling each individual player. It's just all 3 move together and they're dots. They got no arms or legs. They're just blue dots against red dots, and the ball is a square. And there's no goalkeeper. There's no corner flags, no nothing. It's just very a green rectangle with dots on it. But it moves, and there's a thing that looks like a goal. I mean, that's it. Circus Atari, awesome game. You're in a circus and you're bouncing. One guy is on the one end of the trampoline, another guy bounces on it, and there's like multicolored balloons in the ceiling, and the man has to pop them all with his head. But you have to watch it when it comes back down. That you have to catch him, because if you don't, his head will splatter all over the ground. It was the first time I ever saw like a video game character die a horrible, messy death. You know, it goes, and it sounds like he cracks his head on the ground, which was disturbing as a kid. But I thought it was an awesome game. Like, just trying to catch him on the bounce and bounce him back up. So awesome game, Circus Atari. It's one of the best games on the 2600. Something so simple and basic. In my opinion. Now, combat is tank against tank, or player against player. Whoever can kill the other guy the most before the time runs out. High score. It's mainly a 2-player game, but it's still an awesome game. Had hours of fun with that. Combat 2. Now, I don't believe that was officially released. I think that's just a prototype. I've never seen it in cartridge form, or maybe it was, but I don't think so. Just more variation of combat, you know, and more is better, so yeah, it improves on combat. Crystal Castles, you know, awesome game. That was an arcade game as well, but I never got to play it, unfortunately. I wish I did. You play as Bentley Bear, running around the castle collecting all the crystals, and there's all sorts of enemies out to kill you, and it's the first game I can remember where you could actually jump. You know, you press a button. Well, Pure Fall would have been the first. Pure Fall came out before Crystal Castles. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I mean, Crystal Castles, the graphics are very impressive for a 2600 game. Bentley Bear actually looks like a bear. You know what I mean? And the enemies look like enemies. It's not just circles and squares. So it's an awesome game. I would recommend it. You know, in my opinion. Now, Dark Cavern. It's like Pac-Man, except you're a guy with a gun, and these robot yokes out to kill you, and it shows you how many robots there is. It's like 40, and each one to kill goes down. It gets insanely hard for something so basic, but it's not. It's good. I like it. Again, M Network made that game. Demons to Diamonds is a classic. You play as this red thing, and there's red and purple demons, and you have to shoot the red ones, and when you shoot them, they turn to diamonds, and you shoot the diamonds, and they move side to side, You know, it's like a green background, right, and they move left to right like that, and they go faster and faster. Now, if you shoot the purple ones, they turn to skulls and they fire back at you. So you have to avoid their fire while trying to hit the shoot the diamonds. It's very challenging and it's very fast paced, in my opinion. I don't know if it was in the arcade or not. But it's an awesome game. Demons to Diamonds, so I'd highly recommend it. You know, there's a Falcon. Now, this came out in 1987, near the end of Atari's life cycle. In my opinion, it's an awesome game, and I have fun with it, you know. You play as a Falcon, you have to collect treasure and other things to get a high score. Every 10,000 points, you get an extra life. Same as Centipede, if you get 10,000 points, you get an extra life. And it gets faster and faster. And it's a isometric perspective, which is very something new on the 2600. Never seen anything like that before. It gets faster and faster, and there's pyramids and other things out to kill you, sphinxes and stuff. So it's an awesome game, in my opinion. Desert Falcon, Dodge 'em, classic game. It's car against car, right? You have to collect that. There's 5 lines, right, of a rectangle, right, and you all have dots in between them. You have to drive around collecting all the dots as fast as you can. But the other car is controlled by the 2-player or the computer. You're trying to crash into it, and you have to avoid them. So yeah, it's very challenging, very fast paced driving game. So yeah, now there's a many more, as it says, you know. But the Atari games that should have been included, in my opinion, is Berserk, you know, Battlezone. These games should have been included, but they're not. Defender and Defender 2 should be in there, but they're not. Yeah, now, if I had all these games, it'd be a perfect collection. And Space Invaders. Space Invaders is not included, which it should be. But if it did, it'd be perfect. Now, onto the Activision games, you know, which is awesome. I believe every Activision game that was ever released in the 2600 is on this. So awesome. Activision definitely made some of the best games for the 2600. You know, this is Torman holding this in the box. I'm an amateur, sorry, you know. I mean, I'm not a professional, you know. Do my best. You know, Atlantis. You know, it's something similar to Missile Command. There's like enemy spacecraft and stuff, and you have to shoot them down. You know, awesome stuff. Beam Rider, you shooting stuff in space, awesome. Boxing, now boxing is a top-down view, and at first I was trying to figure out what the hell is going on here, and it's awesome. You know, so in a nutshell, Pitfall, you know, now Pitfall 2 was not included. I realised that, whereas the first one is. You have River Raid and River Raid 2, awesome. Demon Attack, which is awesome. Spider Fighter, Mega Mania, awesome games. You know, awesome games. You know, so yeah, I mean the entire Flashback 8 Gold Activision Edition, I'd highly recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. And it's great value for money. Now the thing is, everyone is saying, why do you need an Atari VCS when you have an Atari Flashback? Or if you have an Xbox, or if you have anything, because anything can play Atari games. Why do we need the Atari VCS? What's the point of this thing? It's a scam anyway. Now, this is what all the naysayers are saying about the Atari VCS, right? Well, I'm not a naysayer. I'm on the positive side. I want to get the Atari VCS because I'm an Atari fan. I love Atari. That's why I want to get it. That's the main reason. Why? Because I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to have fun with it. That's why I want to get it. Now, what are the other benefits of the Atari VCS, in my opinion? You know, right, it's going to be able to run emulators. It's an open Linux PC. You know what I mean? Which means we can play any Atari game I want to, or any Mega Drive game, Super Nintendo game, PC game. Atari have said that, yeah, you can use your own platform you can use software from other platforms, you know what I mean? That's one of the main benefits, because with the Xbox or PlayStation you can't do that because they're closed systems. I mean, we have a smartphone, right, and this tablet here, we can play any Atari game, any Sega Mega Drive game, no problem. You know, I've always wanted to be able to do that on my, see my brand new 4K television there, right? You know, I'd love it if we could play my any game I want on my big screen. But I can't, because the Xbox can't do it and the PS4 can't do it, because they're closed systems. You know. Now, with the Atari VCS, now I hope when I get the Atari VCS, it's as easy. Like on my tablet here, we can download emulators from the Google Play Store, play games. There's no hoops to go through. You don't have to be a fucking engineer or rocket scientist to do it. Now I hope with the Atari VCS, it's the same system. I mean, I don't have to go through hoops to do it. You know, I don't think so, because they say they're gonna have an Atari Store, and they say yes, it's gonna be able to run games with the platform. So that's the thing that I'm most excited for, because I'm a gamer. I like playing games from multiple consoles, and it'll save me from having to dig out my Mega Drive if I want to use it, or my tablet. You know. So yeah, but I don't need it. Really. That's what they're saying. But that's what I'm looking forward to. That's one of the reasons why I want to get it. Streaming stuff, YouTube, Netflix, all this stuff, it's an extra bonus for me. Yeah, I don't really need it, but all these things are a bonus. You know what I mean? And I want to have them. I want to use them. Now, I'm an Atari fan, like I said. I've been supporting Atari since I'm 40 years old. If I wasn't an Atari fan, I wouldn't give two shits about this. So that's what it all boils down to. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get it. I've seen nothing, in my opinion, that is convincing me to ask Atari for a refund. Everyone is saying it's a scam. Ask for a refund. Why? Because they lied about Tempest 4000 running on the system. It's fake footage. If someone lies to you, you shouldn't support them. That's what they're saying. We say no. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. You know, but if it turns out I am wrong, I'll say, look, I'm wrong, I'll move on. I'll boycott Atari, burn all their stuff. July 2019, that's what I said on my receipt. I'm getting the Atari Collector's Edition with the wood panel, with a joystick and a controller. You know, it says, I'll plug it in, I'll hit the power switch, I'll put the HDMI lead into the telly, and then I'll connect it to my router downstairs. Then we can play 100 Atari games from the Atari vault, which is awesome. I'll have a kick-ass new Atari style joystick with LED lights. A Mario controller, you know. This thing is going to be brilliant in my opinion. But that's my opinion, you know. But it could be completely wrong. We wait and see. Right? Now, the Atari Flashback, it doesn't have a web browser. You can't watch YouTube on it. You can't download games. Now, Atari are great at making money and making multiple iterations of the same thing. This is Atari Flashback 8. We've got Atari Flashback 6, and I've got two 8s. I've got the normal gold edition, and I've got the standard Flashback 8, which is 105 games on the standard, 120 on the gold, and because I'm a fan, you know what I mean? I like their stuff. I like collecting their stuff. You know what I mean? It's just people that like buying shoes. Why do you need so many pairs of shoes? Right? That's how it works with me. I like it. You know, it brings me enjoyment. It makes me happy. That's why. Now people call me a fucking idiot or a fool for backing the Atari VCS, whatever, grand, you know. But if we get this thing and it is a big pile of shit, like everyone's telling me, there's nothing inside the VCS, then we'll say, yeah, you know what, you're absolutely right. I'm gonna burn the thing. There you go. You know what I mean? Now we realise that negative things draw attention to do. You know what I mean? People like making videos saying, look how fucked up this thing is, you know. Don't get it. I was right, I was telling you, you know. But I'm a positive person. You know, I'm not negative in the slightest, you know. I'm very optimistic. Now people say that that's a downfall, but that's their opinion. I'm not a pessimist, and I don't like being negative about anything unless it deserves it. You know, in my opinion, what I've seen about the Atari VCS isn't negative. It's criticism, and it's people's negative opinion about the system. Now, I might be wrong about that, but that's what we think. You know, Atari have shown too much for it to be a scam, in my opinion. You know, it has over $2,800,000 raised from passionate fans. That's how much people care about this. And now, if all this was really true, then all that would be refunded within a matter of minutes. Now, I've been checking this thing all the time, and the money is going up, more backers are supporting it. So that leads me to believe that this is all just negative criticism. You know what I mean? But we wait and see what happens, right? You know, like look, I want us to succeed because I'm an Atari fan. I've been waiting for something like this for a long time. And to be honest with you, I never thought Atari would actually come back and make a new system. But I'm glad that they are. You know what I mean? Because having Atari come back into the mix is great. You know? Now, but you keep hearing people saying, why do you need it? What's because I want it. I'm an Atari fan. Why do you wear shorts? Why do you buy shoes? Why do you make videos about things? Because you want it. You like it. You want attention, don't you? So do I. Everyone does. You know what I mean? So that's it. Something else I want to say. The Atari Flashback 8 goal is awesome, in my opinion. You know, it's now that games may actually make the thing. You know, so I don't know if they're going to have any involvement with the Atari VCS. I haven't heard that they are, so I think at games are feeling a bit bored by Atari that they didn't include them in the VCS. But who knows, maybe they are, like, I don't know. But they'll have a... Now the thing... So that's it. I'm going to end this video because I actually want to play a few of these games, you know. But we'll keep supporting Atari until they let me down. And how will that happen? If we get the Atari VCS, we'll plug it in and nothing happens. Then we'll burn it, and then we'll boycott them. And we'll say, don't support Atari ever again. That's it. Wait and see what happens. Right now, there's more negative stories about the Atari VCS than positive ones. But I have seen positive ones, right? Right, this guy called Hardcore Gamer, right? Now, if you type in Atari VCS, Tempest 4000, that's one of the things that are there. Now, he says that this is official, it is going to be officially on the Atari VCS. So, which story are you going to believe? You know what I mean? Like, on the Atari VCS thing on Indiegogo, there's a guy playing Tempest 4000 on the screen. Right? Now, is he playing it? They say this is the PC version, it's not the VCS version. Okay, Atari have lied about that. You know, but like, you know, it's they're the publisher. They can do whatever they want with it. They could whip their ass with it if they wanted it. They could shit on it if they wanted it. It's their property. You know what I mean? They're doing something shady like EA does, but EA gets passes all the fucking time, you know? You know, so what do you expect? Like, Atari would be in the same bracket as Activision and EA, you know? So, now, Activision and EA, even though they do shit stuff and they're regarded as evil companies, I buy their games and I enjoy them, as well as millions of other people do. Right? So, like, Atari isn't the same bracket. Microsoft, they've lied about tons of stuff about the Xbox One. Now look at it. The Xbox One X, you know, millions have it, millions play it. So, what is considered a failure? You know what I mean? It's all about opinion. If it sells well, it's not a failure, right? Or great systems. Now, in my opinion, the Sega Saturn is a great system. I love it, but it's a failure. It didn't do well at all. It only sold like 9 million consoles, but in my opinion, it has a great game library. And it's one of my favourite systems of all time. You know, despite it being hard to program for. So it's all about opinion, right? So we wait and see what happens. You know? So, like, after I make this video and after I play a few games, I'm gonna keep checking the progress of the Atari VCS because the backers are growing. It's getting more money funded. So Atari really gonna fucking screw people over? I don't think so. They've shown too much of it to be a scam. Now, Yar's Revenge, right? They say that was fake footage, right? Right, now to say the game that was on the guy that was playing the game, when he was holding the controller, his button movements didn't match what was going on the screen. So what the fuck's going on here? He's not really playing the game. Now I haven't seen exactly what everyone else has seen. I haven't seen the whole thing, you know. I've only seen that this guy holding the controller and it's not matching what's going on screen, but I can't see what's on the screen, so I don't know what he's doing. So I'm going to check into that Yars Revenge after this video, just to see what everyone else is saying, because I'm not saying it, what they're talking about, you know, but I haven't seen that Yars Revenge fake stuff yet. But after this video, I'm going to type it in, Atari VCS, Yars Revenge, and see what comes up. Right, now, Centipede. Now, I've seen that hundreds of times, because Centipede is the first game I'm going to play when I get my Atari VCS. I'm going to play it for hours on end, just to see what it looks like in 60 frames 4K, because that's what they say the Atari VCS is capable of. I say it's going to be awesome. Now, I've seen the man, the guy that made the Atari Classic joystick, the engineer, right? Now, them button movements are not match what's going on with Centipede. It does, you know what I mean? In my opinion, it does. When you press the forward button, it matches what's going on the screen. There's no delays, it's not faking it. So, at least I know that's real. Right? He's pressing the button, it's happening. Watch it again. The more you watch things, the more you find out if it's real or not. You know? Now, Tempest 4000 may be fucking fake, because there is a keyboard on the table, and it does, it says the Atari VCS is compatible with keyboards. So, here's what I think about the Tempest 4000 thing again. He emulated the game. He used the keyboard to type in Tempest 4000, like we do with a smartphone, right? We have to type in the name of the game and stuff, the emulator, and there, you know. It's that simple, you know what I mean? But I hope, wait and see what happens, right? But that's what I think. He typed in Tempest 4000 PC version, and he downloaded it onto the Atari VCS and he played it. You know, so that means I think it's gonna be like a folder or like apps, you know, like a desktop. Now you have when it shows you, it says collection Atari games. Then it has a bunch of other things on the side. Let's say you press them, it'll open up a different page with apps, and one will be Tempest 4000 emulator games. You know, because it comes up that easy and clearly what the things are when you emulate them. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing fucking obscuring your vision. There's no big long line of text. It's a square that looks like the game, so you know what it is, and it's easy to press and play. You know, now, so yeah, I mean that's what I think. Because it is capable of emulation, and with the Bristol Ridge CPU and all the other stuff it has, the DDR4 RAM and all, it's capable of doing it because it showed it on the screen. Right? So, now, this is not the finalised version. Illustration purposes only. Atari are testing this thing right now as we speak, and they know that they have to do improvements. The game may look dynamite now, but obviously it's not 100% perfect. Nothing is. Nothing yet. It takes time, you know. Now, people are saying this is all a lie. Why are you supporting lawyers? That makes you a lawyer, right? Well, maybe so. But, like, right, that's it. I'm going to end the video, right? Because, like, I'm going in circles here. But I'll keep talking about it, and until we see from what my own eyes, until I get the thing. July 2019, long way to go. It's not even Christmas yet, and this is summer 2018. So this is okay. I'm gonna end the video, right? So if you want to like, disagree, subscribe if you want to. Check out the entire Flashback 8 Gold if you want to. If you're living in England, if you live in England or somewhere else, America, the entire Flashback 8 should be cheaper than it is in Ireland, because in Ireland we get ripped off every fucking thing. You know, but it's still pretty cheap. So yeah, thanks very much if you're watching, and I'll see you all later. So take care, and bye bye.